bladder thing, I think super smart for, you know, everyday hike and fly. If you're really racing a lot, the water, the like 500 milliliter flasks, so much easier to switch in and out and refill. If you do have a water bladder and you're going to use that, it should never leave your pack. As in, when you go to pack your wing or pack your harness, leave the water bladder in your pack the whole time so that you don't have to keep putting it in and out. And refilling it, you just pull out just this much and put it back in. So first thing I do when I get to launch, and I want to launch right where I can set up. So normally in paragliding, we like set up to the side and then we come over and all the rest. That's super kind, but hike and fly racing especially, I want to choose a spot that doesn't have a ton of bushes and brush, especially for the far turn point down to the east. There's brush down there. So like put your glider where you're probably gonna launch your glider, right? Because all the sticks and everything. Find a good spot and just set up right there. Some athletes will count their stuff. They'll have a number for every single piece of equipment, and that way, instead of working on names or thinking that you're going to forget something, instead you just count it all. So 1, trekking poles. 2 would be, you know, backpack. 3, helmet. You can figure out your own counting system. It's pretty simple. So if I find my launch spot, I'll say it's over here. I'm always really tired when I get there, so I always get on my knees and kind of just sit on my ankles, right? Sit on my feet and everything, try and stretch everything out while I'm getting ready. Because the next thing you're gonna do is have your legs extended probably in either your pod or even an open harness. Your legs are gonna get fatigued and maybe shaky, especially if you have to push them out all day. So get this part in right now. Don't worry about eating or anything when you get to an aid station or get to the top. You can, it's a great time, like don't launch if you're like totally out of it, but once you're in the air, that's the best time to eat food, drink water, all that kind of stuff. So maybe chug some water when you get to the top, but really you gotta focus on getting in there as quick as you can. So I just pull everything out from underneath. My wing is always set up the exact same way. So I just pop it out of the bag. Wind would be coming from this direction, and it's as simple as rolling it. I roll it out, so now the harness is right in front of me. And instantly, it's already open. I'm not gonna mess with zippers if I don't have to. So that's already open. I take my pack with my bladder that stays in when it's full. Roll that up first so that I can get that in with the water hose out. Poles. Right, pretty simple. There's like pole holders and stuff on certain backpacks and harnesses and all that stuff, but don't need to waste your time with that.
So even though that one has the one on the side, you just put it in the back?
Put it in the back, that's a pain.
Yeah. It's kind of a pain.
Yeah, I mean, I use that for this harness. I would use that for if I'm just free flying. I put my radio in it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
because then you can still get to your radio really easily.
Is there any radios tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, really the only thing we really want you to have is an inReach.
Yeah.
And if you don't have one, then whatever. So don't crash. Yeah, that's like rule number 1. So then I would inflate it, obviously.
For the range harness, do you blow into it to inflate, or do you use the bag thing to like
Blow into it.
Okay, is that faster for you?
Yeah.
Than that bag?
Yeah, it's way faster, and I don't want to carry that bag.
Yeah, it's kind of such.
Bag's a lot heavier than your
Yeah, it's not good. What's that?
cinch your tube.
Oh, really?
The tube on this harness, I just pinch and then
Put the sleeve on.
put the sleeve over it.
And that works?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I've ever done, and it works great. Just pinch, and I don't even put it on all the way.
Okay. Wow.
And then the race, so they made an X-Alps version of this harness, and it has a quick release valve that's right back here, so that they can push the air out really quickly. I don't have that version, but that's one thing that's pretty cool about certain other harnesses. So yeah, anyways, there. A lot of times people talk about launching, you know, with or without gloves, that kind of stuff. I would never launch with gloves. Yeah, because you just put them on once you get in the air, right? If you don't feel comfortable flying either no-handed or one-handed, then yeah, put on gloves before you launch. But like tomorrow's first flight's gonna be a quick glide. I don't even know if I'll put a jacket on. Right, just get nice and cold. You're about to get hot again. Right? So I wear these aftershocks. So instead of a radio, especially if I'm racing with a team, we're using Zello, and this is what I'm doing all the communication on. And then these just stay on. They're on, and then they're on me all day.
What do you mean Zello?
Zello.
Can you communicate through the headphones?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a push to talk
cool.
for your phone.
Oh, awesome.
But you receive things like while your phone's like
without
whatever black. Like you don't have to pull out your phone to receive a message. It'll
Yeah.
just come into your phone.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
But with
it's really
the bus,
cool.
you can just talk.
Do any headphones work?
You might have to switch
Yeah,
out
yeah,
those.
any headphones. We just like
It's more
these
about
ones because you
getting
can hear.
information and getting it.
Okay.
So,
So you don't have a sleeve for your glider, you just put it in your backpack?
no sleeve. Yeah. Just like this. Some people will leave their harness already with some of the parts connected. I always find that I trip over something when I'm doing that. So I just leave it. I'll leave it like this. Maybe your hazard harness. Yeah. Pretty good.
So you say the X Alps one has a release valve at the base?
It's right behind the back. It's in, so you can see how the back is like a single panel.
Yeah.
Can't get to it. There's a single panel, and then right back in there, there's a release valve. And a lot of them are using that to blow it up as well, because it's not this tube, it's just an open 1-inch hole.
Alright. I have the blue one.
Yes, you might have that right stuff.
I feel pretty stupid, I didn't know that.
Whatever. For this harness specifically, I always leave this one buckled, the clip there, and then just clip this one. Carabiner always stays on here. I have taken it off in the past, but it doesn't really matter. The phone, what I do, what I suggest doing, so everybody like ties their phone on different ways. A lot of people will tie onto one of these little loops, but if that drops a lot or it's hanging there, it's gonna rip through the loop eventually. So I just take a piece of line and then put some flat duct tape, just duct tape the line to itself, run it through the loop.
So, if you like the longer,
And that's like,
the colors we have.
it's just way cleaner and it doesn't break those holes out. So a little piece of duct tape goes a long way. Then the next thing in my jacket is always my external battery. So some people put it in all sorts of places, but if it's in your jacket, it's gonna stay warm, it's gonna last longer, it's gonna power better. So external battery, I normally only am charging when I'm flying. And then if it was a supported race, I would take my jacket and give it to the supporter. They might hand me another external battery, but I'm trying not to hike with those unless I need one, because they're kind of heavy. So it just stays in my jacket. The other thing that's always in my jacket over here is the inReach. A lot of people put it in the harness, leave it in the harness. I think that's fine, but this way, it's just always on me. So if I was to crash or something, it's in my jacket, it's right here. So, kind of nice to have. Boom, so I'm done there. For the gloves, I got my sunnies on normally. For the gloves, I just kind of stuff them right here. And then once I've launched it, I'll put them on. Okay? And then to spread the wing, so you might notice I always put when I pack it, I'll show you, but I always turn everything the same direction. So when I back up right now, I shouldn't have any twist, I shouldn't have any issues. Should be able to just launch it. And when I spread the wing, it's as simple as just getting the tips out. Because the center is always flat the way I pack it, so it's always going to be exposed well. This is perfect. This is how I'd want it. Just like that. And then I have one long loop through the center, so it's really easy. And then before I back up, I always pull all the lines up, and I start right here. Now all the lines are on top of the glider, and I've cleared everything. So I don't back up with loops, but I also don't drag anything. This way I know I don't have any tangles. I just back it up, especially with bushes and shit. Just lay all that stuff on top of it. Does that make sense? And I'm not dragging stuff around. So I got my turn direction, everything's set, I go ahead and launch, right? When I land, I try and do that same thing. I get all the lines on top, take that one big loop, just like that. That big loop seems way easier to pack, okay? So after landing, gloves come off, everything else will pretty much stay. Unclip all this shit. I try and keep everything in a small pile.
Logan, can I point out something you did that's good?
Yeah.
You might have noticed when he grabbed all of his lines and pulled them forward, he put tension on all the lines, and so that brought all the upper brake cascades up into the wing instead of laying down on the ground and getting snagged in crap.
None of these lines, yeah, exactly. None of these lines should be out here. If that happens and I go to pack, I'm gonna get something tangled, or these little lines are really prone to tension knots. So I just put everything on top of the wing. Yeah, good call. So for this harness specifically, there's a lot of you that have it, so we'll kind of talk about it real quick. I get all the risers to one side, okay? I take the foot plate, I put it on the seat, tuck that in, I pull this over, grab everything out of it, and I put it in my little pile right behind me. Notice my jacket's not off, my helmet's not off. This is still gonna have air in it normally. So I take this, I fold the fairing around. Because this still has air in it, I don't wanna mess it. I'm not gonna like sit here and push it out. I'm just gonna put the heaviest thing that's there, which is the reserve on top. It's gonna start emptying the air. And then I just push everything to the center. There's a lot of talk about being really nice to your leading edge, and that's great. If you wanna fly your wing for a long time, that's probably really smart to do. I don't worry about it. So you just kind of push everything to the center, put it up here, and then tuck it all inside itself. It'll be a little bit more full of air when you just put it, but you just get it kind of tucked in. Fold it over, and I just kind of push everything under it. And then the key, I'll go to this side. The key is that you've got these ribs. I just want a single cell wide. So I'm gonna pinch this down until I've got a single cell width. There's no single cell. There's a single cell. I put a knee in the middle of the wing. Set up the front. Set up the back. And from the back, I just sandwich it over. Should still be about a cell wide. I go long with the leg, I pull this over, and I always pull it from the same side. So it's coming off my right side, and I just set it right on top. Right underneath where the reserve is, okay? So folding. That's done. I grab my backpack. That should have stayed in there. For all the hike and fly harness or backpacks, any of the backpacks, sometimes they can be kind of small. And figuring out, especially if they have like an offset zipper, how to put the bag in so it's always straight. Every one of the bags has these two seams that come up your back. You take your knees on those two seams. On those seams, it'll always be straight. Now, finally, I'm at the point where I can take my jacket off. It's really warm. Jacket, gloves, and helmet. A supporter, they can pretty easily get to this stuff, but if I know I'm gonna instantly offload things, I'll put my jacket on the outside. So you don't use those external helmet straps? Anything like that? Yeah, just anything that adds weight or time. I don't want to use.
What wing is that?
Is it climber?
Something like Climber 2.
Yeah, climber 2.
What's that?
94, 21, I think. So all that stuff is done, and then I'm gonna start walking right away. And then I'll get out my poles. I'll make sure everything else is set, get my hat the right direction, all that kind of stuff. Cool. Pretty simple.